One more thing about this lookup system that we're using. If I go into the file and I add an invoice and I type in ACME 1000, it does a direct lookup and it finds the thing and it displays the address. Everything's fine. It finds the record in the other file. Now, just by accident, I see, oh, that's not really what I wanted. I wanted something starting with MALA. Okay, and I space over this. Now, what happens is it's going to bring up our browse, but it leaves that other junk from the other thing on the screen. We now have Mala, we have, Gerald Hoban and Acme, and we have all the records on the screen. It's starting to get a little mixed up. If you ever have to do a lookup to something that's going to fill up and display things on the screen, if you're actually doing a lookup to do that, you should first clear all those things on the screen, because someone may go back in and change it. If they pick something else, it's going to fix it. But for the time that they're looking around, everything looks so wacky, it's better that if you go into a field and you do leave that field, right now it won't have to do anything because it's got the right code. But if you leave that field with a new thing like Z, starting with Z, and you hit enter, yeah, put up the browse, but before you do that, go clear that stuff out of the address box there and display the fact that you've cleared it. Let's go do that. Okay, I'm going to go into the processing, and it's going to happen when I leave the field when leaving field 3. Okay, I first make sure it can't be blank. I can't leave it blank, and then if it happens to be the same as it was, then I say, okay, that's fine. But if I am forced to do a lookup for any reason at all, first thing I want to do is go clear all those fields. And I may want to clear these fields from other places too, like from the browse. So let's make it a subroutine that just says clear. How about I'll make a capital C, clear ADDR, clear address. Okay. So before we go do this lookup, we're going to go to a little subroutine, and where should we put it? Top-down programming says we should put it, the very first thing that gets encountered as we go down, let's put it here. We'll call it clear ADDR. I'll pop it here as always. And what do I want to do here? It's on line 14. I'm going to copy line 11 to it. F8, copy 1111 to 14. Now I got all those fields that are on the screen here, but instead of filling with what they are supposed to be filled with, I'm going to fill them with blank, with null. Fill them with null. And then I'm going to clear them. By filling them with null, that is clearing them. Try not to make a mistake here counting over. And hopefully I'm not. Oh, I think okay. Last thing. Alright. This is a subroutine, remember. What do I have to do at a subroutine? I have to return. I always like to put returns over here on this part of the line. I could just say semicolon return. A lot of people do that. You'll see a lot of code that does that. Not mine. Anytime I'm in a subroutine, I want to clearly see where the return is as my eye follows down the page. So here's a return. And now, is that going to clear the screen? No. It's going to just clear the variables, but we have to refresh the screen with a display statement. I could put it in here, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to say, right where we do the go sub, I'm going to go sub clear the address. Then I'm going to put the display here. Because there may be times when I don't want to display, I just want to run this is just a better way of doing it, and you'll learn why in a little bit. I'm basically just doing some manipulation on those fields. I may want to display them or do something else with them. At this point, I don't put displays inside, generally don't put displays inside subroutines. It's better to put them where you want them because sometimes you don't want to change the screen for whatever reason. This will do the go sub. It will clear all the fields before we do our lookup, and it will display the fact that all the fields are clear. By the way, what did I forget in here? I forgot custcode. We were filling custcode now too. Remember we filled it in the other browse, so let's fill it here. It's VGC 19. And because we filled it here, we have to clear it in our clearing subroutine. Also, you don't have to do these things in order. That's just part of my anal retentiveness that I like to do things in numeric order. So I'm looking to see if I cleared field 11 or 10. I know I can start here and count up and try, and it'll find it in numerical order rather than looking all scattered around if I clear them in any random way. I try and keep everything I do logical and orderly way. All right, let's just try this and see if it fixes the little problem we did have. If I go out of field, let's add Acme 1000. That's Acme 1000. It didn't. I must have typed it wrong because it put me at Acme 1000. Let's say I hit enter. And it filled it in. I'm going to press break. I'm going to try this one more time. ACME 1000. That should not have brought up the browse. There's an error. The Acme 1000 should have just filled the field. Isn't that correct? Let's go debug this. If I go into 5, 2, and I'm going to go leave the field, at when leaving field 3. Okay. First thing happens, I don't let him leave it blank. If 3 equals old, I end. 3 equals old value, I end. Okay, then I do the lookup using k equals 3, and if it's not found, I go to here and I go to there. 3, I display an end. I should have displayed an end, but I didn't. Cust code equals 3, index equals A. I'm not sure. It goes sub clear address why this is broken. So I'm going to find out, and in the next lesson, I'll debug this and show you what was wrong.